you will not be critical about this mess. This never happens. But learning Dharma has events like these, adversaries, and the point of learning Dharma is to learn how to cope. So, thank you for your patience. We will start with our chanting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānāti pātā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Adinnādāna vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu micchācārā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhāna vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Is this recording? Okay, great. So, I welcome you to close your eyes for a moment, to pause briefly and embrace this meditation moment, taking a deep breath in and releasing. Continue breathing in, breathing out, just as normal, and allowing your body to relax. Sometimes emptying the cup is important before we pour in any new information. So, in our Dharma practice, what we do is we are looking for a gem. So, for that, we need to dig. We dig the earth, and when we don't find the gem, we give up and we stop looking. So, the goal is to still continue digging until you find the gem. Some people haven't even started that work. And the problem with those people who have not started the work is that when they start a new life in their next birth, wherever that happens to be, they have not even done the digging, so that part is missing in their life. So that's very important, that we continue digging until we find the gem. Even if you don't find the gem, you still have done some work. So never give up. So this discussion will be a mini discussion, because please hold that patient in hospital in your prayers, that this patient is in the ER and is actively dying. So they are requesting a visit by a spiritual care person. Okay, so please see if you have the printed document. And we'll discuss the occasionals on page 2. If you don't have your copies, please share with your neighbor. They will appreciate it. And let's read. Initial application, vitakka, which applies the other mental factors to the object when attention has brought it into range. Continued application, vichara, which makes the mental factors dwell on the object. Resolution, adhimokha, which prevents the mental factors from wavering and makes a decision. Effort, virya, which energizes the mental factors and opposes idleness. Joy, piti, which creates an interest in the object, giving the mind buoyancy. Wish to do, chanda, the desire to act, the wish to achieve an aim. The universals and the occasionals become wholesome, unwholesome, or neither, depending on the state of consciousness in which they occur. Now we need to slow down on this occasion. Why are they called occasionals?
Because they're not always there.
Yeah, they occasionally arise. They take their chances. Do you have an explanation on that, Glenn?
Just exactly what you said.
Mhm.
They arise with some
And they don't arise
chittas,
with
or
all.
they may not.
I think it's also easy if you look at the 7 universals, right? They are always present. So it's always 7 plus. So that's what we learned in our previous discussions. And then we have the occasionals. They may or may not arise. But I will ask this question from you. Now we have these occasionals. So are they 7 plus occasionals? So you will have joy, for example. And joy, how do you take it? Do you have the 7 with the joy?
7 universal?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
that was my question. I didn't know how to frame it properly. Don't ask any questions now. Let's. Okay, maybe we should get your question.
Yeah, what is the word, Pali word for occasions?
Okay, I have it here. I don't want to give you the wrong Pali word. I think it's called pakinnaka, right?
Oh, occasional.
It's not here. I was. It's a word that I didn't quite get. Do I have it here?
No, we can-
No, I don't have it. I think it's there, pakinnaka, and I don't really get it. Where did you find it?
First page.
Of the same. Oh, that's right. So, occasional mental factors. They are called pakinnakas. I need to really investigate what that word means and how it is formed. I'm sorry, I don't have that information right now, and I don't want to give you the wrong information. My goal today was to just read what is there and allow you to process the list in your head, and basically to understand each, as they have unique personalities, characters, I would say, for each of them. So how many occasionals we have in our list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
It is
Yeah.
missing number.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, Vitaka has to be 1.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, so we read this last time, did we? Maybe we did. Okay. But did we discuss the occasions? A little bit. How did I forget that? Much has been happening in my life. If you know what I went through today, you will totally forgive me. So, yes, it's good to have other lists. So we know that we have 6 occasionals. So I'm taking the first one, Vitaka. And the Vitaka, when we have Vitaka, we always have those 7, the 7 universals. The 7 universals are contact, feeling, perception, volition, one-pointedness, life faculty, and attention. And this group is missing a little bit more information, because on our Wednesday discussion, those who come to Wednesday program know that we covered why they are called universals, why they have to be 7 plus always. In that discussion, which we did not pretty much cover in our Monday discussion. So those who are there in that discussion should now tell the group why they are called 7 universals. Why can't they be, less than 7? Why are they a must in our 52 mental factors? Logically, please try to look at the 7. Say, for phassa, for contact, for any mental any mind activity to manifest, you have to have some contact with your eye, with your ear, with your nose, with your tongue, with your body or the mind. So it is a must. Therefore, it is a universal, right? But take occasionals, for example. Occasionals, for example, joy will not be always present. It may or may not arise. So now you can see the contrast between the universals and the occasionals. Okay, and feeling. With we had interesting questions around this, but we have only 3 kinds of feelings basically: pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Take the simplest words possible. And say neutral is something we don't feel, but can always be present with many things that we feel. So I hold this, but I don't know whether it's a pleasant feeling or unpleasant. I'd rather say it's a neutral feeling, just like that. So some kind of feeling should always present. That is why we say it's a universal, right? So we are now recapping, and now mentally you have a perception about that. You perceive something. It's something you touch, something you see as a form, some sound. So that's why some perception is always a must. So that is also a universal. And then you have, I think I would say, volition, chetana. um, a thought moment. Should I use that word? A thought moment?
For chitta,
No, chetana.
chaitana.
Volition probably is the best word. Like intention. So that's good. That is always present. So that is why. I mean, I think you should not get confused with the ordinary sense of intention, right? My intention is to say something. That's not the meaning here. That intention is different from setting your. I think these are very close. Like if you look at attention and one-pointedness and volition, what is happening with those three is that you basically pay attention. You set focus. Like they always arise together. Like when you take a football, you can't separate pieces from it and say it is a football. It has to be always the whole thing to say it is a complete football, right? When you separate things in a car, by taking the steering wheel, you won't say it is a car. When the whole thing is present, you will say it is a car. Just like that. These seven manifest together, and it's hard to distinguish them unless you can you even meditate on this, saying, okay, now I see contact, now I see feeling? No, it's very, very hard unless you have come to a very, very slow pace of your meditation where equanimity is the only thing that is present. Maybe there, when you are so smart and present, you may be able to distinguish each. But that's not something I have done, so I'm just trying to say it's a maybe thing. It's not a sure thing, I would say. But number 6, Jivitindriya, life faculty. You have to be alive. It has to be a living being for this to arise. Without having, when you are not a living being, no contact, no feeling, no perception, no volition, no one-pointedness, no attention will arise. So this object won't have any of those arising because it's not a living thing. You see that difference? And that way, logically also, although Dhamma should not be always understood logically, you can't use logic to prove something in Dhamma. As a group, we need to always remember that. That's something the Buddha said, Ma takka hetu. Don't accept anything he taught just because you can logically reason with it. Because at some point in your practice, logic may not work. Because there is this, that should exist. Nope, that's not how it works in Dhamma practice. Okay. So, and those 7 are always present, but the occasionals may or may not arise. And in the occasionals, I think we did discuss the occasionals, and we were reading. I think we were ready to read the unwholesome, but it's always good to stop at the occasionals occasionally and understand what they are. Do you have a question?
No, I think we did read the
We did that too? Okay. Wow. What did we not read? Oh, we are supposed to read the beautiful mental factors. I'm lagging behind. So for those who are not present here, it's good to go back to the occasionals. I'm sorry about all that. I'm wondering now, should I be on the road to the hospital?
Yes.
Looks like I'm living 10 weeks behind. Anyway, so for my own understanding, I am questioning the first one, vitakka. um, I think Vitakka is an advanced stage if you take universals and then go a little bit forward. A Vitakka rises after the 7 universals. That means Vitakka means initial application, just basically what it means is a thought. With every experience, a thought may or may not be present. That's the idea. We can have moments where we don't have any thoughts. You see that? Say you are in complete equanimity where you may not be having too much thoughts. You will have pauses between thoughts. So, yes, what's your question? Or are you just analyzing things?
No, I was curious. That made me think. So, if okay, the universals and then thought is like an advanced universal, right? So, when we are doing mindfulness meditation, are we trying to keep it at a place where we can observe the universals without anything else coming up?
Who said that?
I'm asking.
No. I don't think we should mess with no, that's not the word to use. I don't think we should do that in our meditation. That is not even necessary. It's like an invalid question. So Bhante Sankicha says there's tea. I didn't know he was here. I should have asked him to do the discussion. I saw him putting on a jacket and I thought he left. Why I say it is an invalid question is because for you may be able to kind of see the 7 universals present, but the point is not to even be in the 7 universals, right? When you get to the what's the word for that? Immaterial states. Say you are in the last immaterial state in your mind. I'm sorry for those who don't understand this, but let me answer. Do you recall what immaterial states are? Infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, neither perception nor non-perception. So you are at that last one, neither perception nor non-perception. That is also a perception in some ways. The point is to be free from all perceptions.
Yes.
So that neither perception nor non-perception is a trouble for you. You're holding on to it in your mind when you are in that level. So you may need to go beyond the 7 universals. There are 2.
I was talking like at a very initial stage, not at that stage, like as
In very initial state, I don't want to scare you about meditation. I don't think this is necessary. Why I say that is because when you get into a language that you know the 7, this knowledge bothers you.
oh, I see what you're saying.
You become analytical and you are not going to progress very much. Do try 1-2 times and see where you are headed with that. So that experience will teach you whether it is necessary or not. I believe it may be necessary to because you are curious about it. Now you know the 7 and now you can analyze the 7 in your experience also. It's important that you do that. That stage is necessary. There you are seeing some insight in practice, but you also need to see more than this 7. You will need to see how it arises with eye, how it arises with ear, and all of them, and not be limited to the 7. So being analytical can put you into just that analytical state of the mind and may not progress in the meditation. there's always work to do. As long as you are continuing you are not giving up there, that will guide you in your meditation. I see a question mark on your face.
Yeah. Well, the way that I understand it is the seven essentials are kind of I don't know whether it's the correct way to define it, like
I think it is.
the conceptual, the kind of the initial, the origin of the thought.
Mm-hmm.
So the occasional, like the thought, so the initial application. So if you just go through that thought, develop that thought.
Yeah.
You kind of it's a so with all these the contact feeling and all these the seven elements, you just it's a kind of origination, and if you don't kind of continue that, so then the occasional might happen or might not. So if you don't apply that and then go after that and then generate another thought and kind of chain reaction.
Oh,
So-
that kind of answers your question also. So in that way, the goal is to stay in the seven always.
If you, I think I'm trying to understand. So that's where you get into, like in jhanas, you have the, you have the feelings and you have this initial origination of thoughts, but then
It just
the
stops
way
there.
of
Yeah.
how you carry on with it, whether you just stop it there or whether you
The thought to stop has 7 plus always. So when you try to begin to analyze it, that thought also has 7 plus. When you realize that you had that thought, that also has 7 plus. So it's kind of,
that's
it's a loop.
yeah, kind of chain reaction.
It is a chain reaction. Isn't that interesting that, yeah, so Glenn's hand goes up, so.
I think it's helpful also to remember that when we're saying thoughts, for the word chitta,
What's the word? Plot?
thoughts,
Thought, yeah.
it's not what we usually
Oh.
think of in English, the word thought. These are not mentations of words.
Mhm.
They're micro instances of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So they happen very, very quickly, and you're not going to be able to separate them out without great effort.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the opposite of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're letting go
Mm-hmm.
and relaxing into it, and not trying to see this or that or anything.
And that
Observing what we do.
that's an agreeable explanation, and that initial occurrence may go to the next level, which is continued application. Now that you have caught that thing and you had a moment with it, and that may happen occasionally as well, not always. That's the magic of it.
I think what I had in mind, and maybe I'm getting this all completely wrong, is, so for example, I hear a noise, right? And I can just be aware that it's a noise and it's there at the periphery of my awareness. I mean, I know it's there, I heard it, and I can either stay with it and kind of start going off, the thinking about it and what it is and why it's bothering me, etc., or just like leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I leave it there, I have the 7 because I may have I have the contact, I have the feeling, I have the perception, but then I don't have any additional mental factor because I'm just letting it go.
Perfect.
That's what I'm
That's
asking.
part of our mindfulness training. And in that case, it is safe that you know this, and you are aware that you are staying within the 7. not letting them cluster, like
Yes.
not letting them proliferate. That is the word.
Okay.
But do investigate on that though, because I'm yet to do that kind of practice and then approve or disapprove what you're saying, but you don't need me for that. You have this knowledge just like I do. Yes, we are all in the same boat, my dear. Yes.
One more question. So, what's the difference between the 7 essentials and the 5 aggregates? Kind of.
So 5 aggregates and 7 essentials. So they are aggregates,
So
and
aggregates of-
7 essentials are basics. But you have, I think,
They are quite in mind.
do they resemble though? I mean, let's.
Are they-
What is missing? So
Rupa?
Rupa is
Yeah.
missing.
So
You have Vedana, you have perception. So
The Rupa, in a sense, it's matter, right? So
Yes.
matter is like it is what you feel through your 6 senses.
yeah, if you want to
So
take it
it's-
that
it's
way,
like contact is somewhat similar.
I would say so, because contact is there because there is a physical body, or there is a material body, sort of a astral body, like a divine presence, I would say, like a deity's body. They also have contact, whether they are enlightened or not. So they are very, very much. So the 7 are basics, and you can kind of bring them and analyze in the view of the 5 aggregates too. Except aggregates are groups, more than one, and these are just how the thought arises. This is related to the mind's activity. Aggregates may not necessarily be related to mind's activity, because materiality is completely away from the mind. Good question. Any more thoughts? Okay, so I'm going to end the discussion there, because I promised I will be there with the patient. And thank you for your patience. It's always good. See, although we have done that, it looks like it's never enough. We will transfer merits to conclude with. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. Oh, maybe did you?
Oh no, I didn't touch it.
Okay. I want to show your faces.